The little engine that could. Thomas' train was a normal train just like any other little train, except he had one little problem. He was 2 feet shorter than the other trains in his high school. This caused great difficulty when he tried to do everyday activities such as put dishes away, hang his clothes in a closet, or even brush his teeth. But one day, Thomas decided to try out for his school basketball team. Thomas was walking in the hallway with his best friend, Taylor Choo Choo, and they came across a flyer in the hall that read, "Basketball tryouts! Get those engines in gear and come show your school pride." "Wow," stated Taylor. "You're an excellent basketball player, Thomas. You should try out." Thomas lowered his head and let a little steam out and quietly muttered, "Yeah, I guess so." "What's wrong with—" Taylor attempted to say. But before she could finish her question, Taylor and Thomas was pushed out of the way by bigger, taller, and stronger trains who were already on the basketball team. "Ha ha ha!" laughed Tanaya Railroad. "Please don't tell me that you shrimps are thinking of trying out for my team." "No, of course not," nervously exclaimed Thomas Train. Thomas then grabbed Taylor and fled. As Thomas and Taylor chugged on home, Taylor was very concerned for her friend Thomas. She had never seen him so down. Taylor had recalled all the times that Thomas had helped her when she was most afraid. "Thomas," began Taylor, "do you remember the time I was in a school play and I was so nervous and frightened that I almost quit the play?" Thomas: "Yeah? Well, remember, I think I can?" asked Taylor. Thomas could only smile. He knew immediately what Taylor was talking about. Thomas knew what he had to do. The next day at school, as the day slowly moved on, Thomas' nerves of steel were quickly fading, but he kept telling himself, "I think I can." By the time the final bell rang, Thomas had made his way down to the gymnasium. Kind of surprised, but not really. The gym was packed full of engines from all over. "It's funny what one mass text message can do," slyly said Taylor. Thomas smiled and began to dress in his basketball attire. Then all of a sudden, "Oh my God. I can't believe you showed up to embarrass yourself. I've had enough out of you, Tanaya Railroad, with your rusted wheels and—" yelled Taylor. But Thomas stopped her. Thomas smiled, tied his sneakers, and thought to himself, "I think I can," and said to Taylor, "Watch this." Taylor stepped out of his way. Thomas grabbed the basketball and began dribbling down the court. The audience of engines were on their toes watching in amazement as Thomas crisscrossed, rocket drive, faked, and rushed the ball across the court. Thomas scored point after point. He was a one-man team. After the game, the coach ran to Thomas, knocking Tanaya over, and proclaimed that he must be on the basketball team. Thomas smugly grinned, said no thanks, and walked out of the gym with Taylor while the crowd cheered, roared throughout the entire school. Tanaya came running after Thomas. "Hey, who do you think you are?" Thomas responded, "Oh, just a little shrimp who knew he could."